Hello and welcome. I'm Danette Kubanda, and joining me today for a very special Zoom interview is John Thibault. He is the author of How to Change a Law, and he's a former eBay executive and founder of iLobby. His mission is to empower people to have a positive impact in their community and to have a voice and change laws. Thank you so much for being with us, John.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
So, John, I feel like a lot of people feel disempowered when it comes to politics or changing a law. What are three things people can do to get their voice heard?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't think I go a day without people telling me how frustrated they are. I mean, you can talk about baseball or the Boy Scouts or anything, your kids in school, and ultimately it comes down to politics. And for some reason, it's just a driving force in our life. So, what I've tried to do is simplify the things that people can do instead of focusing on the negative. And those three things at a very high level are that you need to get really clear on your issue, whether it's at the homeowners association, your local city council, your school board, the state, or perhaps even federal, which is a little more difficult. But you have to get very clear about what it is that you want and what you want to get done. The second thing that's important is you need to build a coalition of supporters. And you can do this through debate, where you actually find out what other people think. Don't attack them on the principles of who the person is or what they wore that day or that kind of thing, but really just focus on the benefits and maybe the deficiencies of an issue that you're looking at. And you'll find, I believe, that diverse people have different opinions, and they can actually help you strengthen your arguments, strengthen your facts, and bring stories to you that you never would have thought possible. And that's a big part of building the coalition and making that work. And then the third part is ultimately we cannot sponsor bills ourselves. So we have to go to our representatives. So in order to do that, you figure this out, you have a team of people who are with you and support the idea that you're trying to get done, and they're all affected by it, perhaps. And you then find the right politician, who you might start with your local representative and then work your way up and find out what committee they're on and who the other members of the committee are, and then move toward that person. But now you've vetted your idea. You're not coming in just writing a letter and saying, oh, this is my idea and it's great and it's perfect. You're coming in saying, hey, 200 people have looked at this. My company, my trade association, my neighbors, all kinds of people. And they're going to pay attention because you have a coalition that you've built. And it makes so much more sense. And you're going to come in a stronger position than if you did it alone.
I love that. So, what are some mistakes we should be avoiding in trying to make a change?
Yeah, there's probably five key things that we all do, and I'll just go through these quickly. But people blame and complain. They blame the politician all the time and just say, oh, what they're doing is terrible, we don't like this, etc. And ultimately, then they don't even tell them. They talk to the wrong person. They talk to their dog, their wife, their friend, the person down the street, the clerk at the grocery store, and it doesn't get anywhere. And you've had this happen, I'm sure, and I know I have, where the person's saying something, you just like, please get away, because they have fuzzy thinking. They're not clear about what they want to get done. So they sort of violated the first principle. They're just like, this is terrible, I hate it, and why are they doing this? But then there's no real solution. And there's this attack that they make on the politician, like they're celebrities, right? We saw that with, the past presidential candidates again and again, where they would say, oh, terrible tie, or I don't like this person, or they're not trustworthy, on and on and on. And again, it's not very productive. And then the final thing is what I said just a moment ago is, by doing all of that and focusing on this negative side of it, you never build a coalition, because you're not going to find people who come to you and go, wow, that person's so negative, I think I want to join them. You just, distance yourself. And so everybody does it all the time. It's an easy trap to fall into, but it's a big mistake.
And do you have some examples of people who've actually changed laws and been successful?
Yeah, there's a great example of a senator here in Silicon Valley who, for the last 10 or 12 years, would reach out to his constituents. This is 1 million people, actually. And of those, he would say, look, if you have an idea for a law that we haven't thought of, please let us know. So people would submit ideas once a year during the correct calendar schedule that they have. Everything's scheduled. And they would say, here's my idea. And it could only be maybe a few hundred words. And if they liked it, he and his staff would take that, they would write it up in legislative bureau language, so it looks like a bill, right? Looks like legalese. And then they would sponsor that on the Senate floor. They'd have the person actually come in and say, hey, look, come in, you're on the Senate floor with us, you're proposing the bill, but we're going to sponsor it for you. And then if it got passed, they would have the person, they would get some press notoriety, they would get a flag that had flown over the state capitol, and then in some cases, they might even get the law named after them. I mean, we've seen that with things like Kate's Law and Megan's Law and these kinds of things. But the pride of authorship and affecting your community in a positive way, I think is a big win for these people. And when I've talked to some of them, that's what they said. They said, you know what, maybe nobody knows who I am or what I did, but I feel really proud that I got this done and I made a change.
And I love that community engagement and letting people know that they have a voice. So thank you for empowering us to know that we can make a change. To learn more about John, his book, How to Change a Law, as well as any of his other projects, please visit his website at changealaw.com. Thanks again.
Good, thank you.